My mother-in-law wrecked my garden, then chuckled. Oops, mistakes happen. To her face, I said, sure do, when her car accidentally got towed after I reported it as abandoned in my driveway. The mistakes kept coming. I, 34M, work as an HVAC technician. Nothing fancy, but it covers the bills. My wife, Jenna, 32, and I bought our first home 2 years ago. A simple 3-bedroom with a backyard big enough to matter. The house needed elbow grease, but that yard became my safe haven. I grew up in cramped apartments, never had soil to call my own. So when we moved, I went all in. YouTube guides, library, books, local gardening clubs. I inhaled every bit of knowledge. Started small, with herbs and tomatoes, then expanded. By this spring, I had raised beds full of produce, a berry patch by the fence, and a small greenhouse I built out of salvaged windows. Enter my mother-in-law, Diane, 58F. Difficult doesn't cover it. Nothing I did was acceptable. The house was tiny. My job was beneath her daughter, and the garden? That really irked her. Men don't garden, she'd sneer. That's women's work. I'd shoot back. The 50s called. They want their stereotypes back. She'd huff, then pivot to, why waste money on dirt and seeds when you can buy produce at the store? Thing is, I tracked everything between grocery savings and what I sold at the weekend farmer's market. The garden actually turned profit, about $800 last summer. Small but mine. Last Saturday, Jenna left for her old roommate's baby shower. 3 hours away. Overnight trip. Diane was invited, but declined, said her country club. Committee work was urgent. I worked half a day, came home around 2 p.m., and found Diane's white Lexus in my driveway. Odd, but fine. Maybe she dropped something off. Then I saw the gate open. My garden was annihilated, not damaged, obliterated. Beds overturned, soil scattered, tomato plants ripped up and tossed aside, berry bushes hacked down to stumps, greenhouse windows shattered, glass littering my seedlings. Diane stood there in spotless designer gloves, holding my pruning shears. "Oh, Michael," she gasped, hand on chest. "You're early." I froze. I thought I'd tidy up while Jenna's away. Gardens can get so messy, you know, but I don't know much about plants. She laughed, actually laughed. Oops, mistakes happen. Mistakes, I echoed flatly. Well, it was overgrown. Couldn't tell. Weeds from whatever those were. She gestured at my ruined tomatoes. But now, you've got a blank slate. Maybe put in a patio, something more suitable. She smirked at the devastation. No one could mistake it for help. Mistakes happen, I murmured. They sure do. She missed the edge of my tone, kept babbling about curb appeal. I got my phone, snapped photos of everything. What are you doing? Her voice sharpened. Documenting the accident for insurance. Her face drained. Insurance? Oh, don't be dramatic, Michael. Just a few plants. I filmed her, still clutching my shears. She left fast. I spent 3 hours calculating damages. Plants, greenhouse, lost produce, about $1,400. Not millions, but not nothing. That night, Jenna called. I told her. Silence. Then she destroyed your garden completely. Yeah, I'm coming home. Tomorrow's fine. Michael, I'm so sorry. I can't believe. No, actually, I can believe it. See, Jenna knows her mom is toxic. Therapy for 2 years toxic. She sets boundaries. Diane bulldozes them. Weed. Discuss going low contact. Now, no, contact. When Jenna got home Sunday, she was furious. Called her mom on speaker. Mom, what did you do to Michael's garden? Oh, sweetie, I was helping. You know men. Never finish outdoor projects properly. You destroyed it. Destroyed is harsh. I improved property. Value. You should thank me. I touched Jenna's arm, mouthed, save your energy. She inhaled. Mom, you owe Michael $2,400 for damages. Diane laughed. For vegetables? If he wants to play farmer, let him replant. It's not a hobby, Mom. He sells at the market. You wrecked his income. Income? Please. Maybe if he focused on a real job, you wouldn't live in that shack. Jenna hung up. Monday, I came home to Diane's car, parked diagonally across my driveway, blocking both garages. No note. No Diane. I texted Jenna. Your mom's car is here. No sign of her. She posted on Facebook she's at book club. Interesting. I called a non-emergency line. Abandoned vehicle blocking my driveway. Officer arrived. Ran the plates, called a tow. Diane showed up as they loaded her Lexus. What are you doing to my car? Ma'am, is this yours? The officer asked. Of course. I left it here for safekeeping. Ma'am, you can't store a vehicle on private property without permission. It's being impounded, the officer said. She whirled on me. You called them. Someone dumped a car in my driveway. What was I supposed to do? I was teaching you respect. The officer raised an eyebrow. Ma'am, are you admitting this was harassment? Her jaw snapped shut. The tow truck left with her car. The officer gave me his card, told me to call if issues continued. Diane Ubered away. Accidents happen. I called from the door. Her face turned purple. Update, you were right. Extinction. Burst doesn't cover it. Tuesday. Diane paid $450 to retrieve her car. Jenna's dad called, asking why. Jenna told him everything. He sighed. Your mother needs to apologize and pay. Diane refused. Instead, Wednesday morning, every house on our street got a flyer. My Facebook photo with text claiming I was running a commercial farm, lowering property values, attracting pests, selling illegally. I laughed. Our city's rules are clear. Gardens allowed, sales under $5,000, require no permit. I had receipts. Spent the evening showing neighbors my destroyed yard and the rules. Most were sympathetic. Mr. Rodriguez, 2 doors, down furious. He'd been buying my tomatoes all summer. That woman destroyed the garden my grandkids adored. Diane hadn't realized half my neighbors were customers. Thursday, she crossed into crime. Thank God for my Ring doorbell. At 3 a.m., she crept up my drive carrying a bottle of herbicide. She aimed for the lawn, but motion lights flared. She panicked, dropped the bottle, doused herself, sprinted to her car. Crystal clear video. I called police that morning. Showed them everything. Attempted vandalism and trespassing. They picked her up at her house. Jenna got the call at work. Her mother was arrested and needed bail. Let her sit, Jenna said, and hung up. Richard bailed her out that evening. He called Jenna, furious. Not at us, at Diane. 40 years of marriage and I've never been so ashamed. She tried to poison your lawn. What's next? Burning down your house. Dad, has she seemed okay lately? Turned out Diane had been unraveling since her sister moved to Florida 6 months ago. Her sister was the only one who could call her out and keep her in check. Without that, she'd been spiraling. Even her country club suspended her for stirring up drama. But the kicker came Friday morning. I got served. Diane was suing us for emotional distress, defamation, and malicious prosecution. Her lawyer must have been desperate for billable hours because it was laughable. She claimed I entrapped her by owning cameras, defamed her by telling neighbors the truth, and caused Severe distress by having her car towed. Jenna read the paperwork and burst out, laughing. She knows we have Tony, right? Our friend Tony, a defense attorney, glanced at the lawsuit and said, file a countersuit immediately. So we did for the destroyed garden, the herbicide stunt, trespassing, harassment, and defamation via flyers. We included photos, video, neighbor statements, and my garden's income records. But it didn't stop there. Saturday, Diane showed up at the farmer's market where I was selling what little produce I'd salvaged. She screamed to customers that I was a violent man who'd attacked a poor defenseless old woman. Several regulars just stared at her. Mrs. Chun, who's bought herbs for me for a year, piped up, Diane from the country club? Weren't you suspended for throwing wine at staff? Diane bolted, but 3 vendors recorded the meltdown. Tony added harassment of business to our countersuit. Update 2. The lawsuit crawled forward, but karma worked faster. Remember the herbicide? When she dropped it, she soaked herself in her car. Lex's interior was trashed, the leather ruined, stench unbearable. Insurance denied coverage since it happened during a crime. The dealer lowballed her $8,000 under what she owed. Now she drives a weed killer-scented Lexus. Then the country club debacle escalated. Other members had filed complaints about her antics. The farmer's market scene was the nail in the coffin. They revoked her membership permanently. For Diane, that was social death. She tried applying to another club, but they called Jenna for a reference. Jenna told them exactly why. She was between clubs. Application denied. Richard filed for separation. He'd been in a hotel since the arrest, but made it official. 40 years and I'm done. The garden was bad enough, but poison? A lawsuit against my daughter? I can't defend her anymore. Diane, of course, blamed us. She began calling Jenna's office, hanging up 20 to 30 times a day until IT blocked her. She made fake Facebook accounts to message me, you destroyed my family. I'll make you pay. Screenshots went straight to Tony. Then came yesterday. I was at Home Depot buying lumber for new raised beds. Came out to find every tire slashed on my truck. But here's Diane's mistake. Home Depot has cameras everywhere. Security footage caught her broad daylight, kitchen knife in hand. Didn't even cover her face. Police arrived within 10 minutes. I pressed charges. Felony vandalism. The damage was over $950, plus violation of the restraining order we'd gotten last week. They arrested her in the parking lot while she screamed that I was trash, who corrupted her daughter. No bail. The judge deemed her a danger. That night, Jenna cried. Not sad tears. Burnout ones. I knew she was toxic. But this? She's my mom. Or was my mom. I don't even recognize her. Richard came by with coffee and a check for $2,400 for the garden. It doesn't fix it, but it's a start. I enabled her for 40 years. Looked away when I should have stepped in. Maybe it wouldn't have gotten this far. He helped rebuild a bed in silence and said, I'm glad Jenna has you. You're a better man than I was. Tony says between the criminal charges and our evidence, our civil countersuit is a slam dunk. Diane's facing likely jail time for the tire slashing given her prior arrest and restraining order. My garden will take years to recover. Berry bushes gone, perennials destroyed. But I've started seeds in the garage. Neighbors brought clippings and seeds. Mr. Rodriguez's grandkids made a card with vegetables drawn on it. Sorry about your garden, Mr. Mike. Diane, meanwhile, lost everything. Her Marriage, her club, her status, her freedom, and her daughter because she couldn't handle me growing vegetables. Oops. Mistakes happen. Final update. Trial was last week. Diane pled guilty to avoid harsher time. 6 months in county jail. 3 years. Probation therapy and restitution for the garden and truck. She looked awful. Hair gray at the roots, designer wardrobe, replaced by county orange. No eye contact. Her lawyer read a statement blaming stress. And, out of character, actions. The judge. Cut him off. Mrs. Patterson, you waged a sustained campaign of destruction, property damage, defamation, harassment, restraining order, violations, and vandalism. This was not a momentary lapse. This was escalation. The civil suit settled. Richards, homeowners insurance paid out $15,000. After Tony's fees, we cleared $11,000. Enough to rebuild bigger and better. Richard and Diane's divorce finalized. Yesterday, he kept his retirement. She kept the house, but she can't afford it. With legal fees and no income, she'll have to sell. Word is she's moving in with a cousin after release. The tire/video leaked to a local Facebook group, went viral. She's now a regional meme. Garden grandma gone. Wild. Not the legacy she wanted. Jenna's doing better. Therapy twice a week. She says it feels like grieving a death. The mom she thought she had never existed. We're planning a beach trip with some settlement money. No drama, just sun. The garden is coming back, slower than I want, but neighbors are helping. Mrs. Chung gave me heirloom tomato cuttings. Mr. Rodriguez and his grandkids planted new berries. Vendors pitched in for a brand new greenhouse kit, nicer than my DIY one. Plot twist. Richard stops by every weekend. Turns out he used a garden before Diane shamed him out of it. He's good at it. Doesn't talk much, just digs. Beside me. Last week he brought his own tools. Thinking of starting tomatoes at my apartment, he said. Maybe some herbs. I can help with that. I told him. He smiled. First real smile in years. I know this isn't a neat, happy ending. A family broken, a woman jailed, wounds that won't heal, but sometimes toxic. People don't change, they self-destruct. My garden will regrow. My marriage is solid. My father-in-law is turning into a friend. My neighbors feel like family. And Diane, she's at 6 months in a cell to reflect on how mistakes happen. Best part? Next season I'm selling a new tomato variety at the market, calling them Karma tomatoes. They take time to ripen, but they're worth the wait. They sold out in an hour.